J-Bone here, and I've got everything you need to know before you watch this weekend's historic and legendary Monaco Grand Prix, including a recap of everything you need to know from this past weekend's Emilia Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. J-Bone! To kick things off, let's recap the biggest F1 storylines to come from this past weekend's Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, so you have all the background info you need before we talk Monaco. First and foremost, is Max Verstappen's multi-year run of Formula One dominance coming to an end? It might be because of two words: Lando Norris. By his own admission, McLaren's Lando Norris was just 1 or 2 laps away from winning this past weekend's Emilia Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. Lando, in his recently upgraded McLaren, managed his hard tires beautifully during his second stint, and thus had a tire advantage over Max at the end of the race that saw Lando consistently set faster lap times than Max and eventually cross the finish line in second place, just 0.725 seconds behind Verstappen. This is the closest finish for a race that didn't finish behind a safety car since 2022, when Charles Leclerc finished the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix just 0.549 seconds behind Max Verstappen. And since that race occurred back when Leclerc was still the F1 championship leader, it means that Imola 2024 was officially Max Verstappen's narrowest victory since his era of dominance began. A typical 2-race span in the Max Verstappen dominance era would consist of back-to-back runaway victories for Max, but in the last 2 races right now, we've seen a Lando Norris win and an almost Lando Norris win. This is far and away the most vulnerable that Max Verstappen has looked since his era of dominance began, and the first time since 2022 that going into the next race weekend, nobody can say with full confidence that Max is definitely going to win the race. This is especially true considering the Monaco Grand Prix is up next, and all that separates last place from first place there can be one bad or great qualifying lap. Do you think that the era of Max Verstappen dominance is coming to an end? Let me, J-Bone, know in the comments. Go comment right now. Do it. And while you're there commenting, I'm trying to get over 1,500 likes on this video so that YouTube likes me more. If you could please toss this video a like. J-Bone! So at Imola, Max took home the victory from pole. Lando finished P2 less than 1 second behind Max. Leclerc rounded out the podium at P3. And in the other point scoring positions, we had Piastri P4, Sainz P5, Hamilton P6, Russell P7 with the fastest lap, Checo P8, Stroll P9, and Tsunoda P10. Now I want to quickly highlight a few drivers and teams given their performance at Imola. First, let's talk Checo Perez. Checo shockingly failed to make Q3 at Imola and then only ended up recovering to P8, partially due to going off track at one point during the race. Through the season's first 7 races, Checo has now failed to qualify in the top 3 times, while his teammate has taken pole in every single race so far, which is not a great look for Checo. And more bad news for Checo as he tries to rebound from his worst qualifying results of the season. Monaco is up next. Not only is Monaco the hardest circuit at which to qualify, given how the precision required to put in a competitive lap time inside its narrow track limits levels the playing field, but Monaco is also the race where Checo's run of missing 5 straight Q3s in qualifying began last season. This weekend's Monaco qualifying session could be absolutely massive for both Checo's qualifying confidence going forward and his F1 future. Next, let's talk Williams racing. Williams' fall from last season's grace continued at Imola as Alex Albon DNF'd after having a wheel nut issue ruin his race during a pit stop, and Logan Sargent only managing a P17 result. Williams remained pointsless after Imola, but not hopeless, as when you have James Vowles at the helm, you're never out. I still believe in your long-term process, James Vowles, as does Alex Albon apparently, or he wouldn't have signed a long-term driver contract with you. Next, we have to talk Ferrari. It seems like their eagerly anticipated upgrades were a bit, as Sainz put it, overhyped, as Ferrari did not seem to gain much ground on McLaren nor Red Bull at Imola. Leclerc looked at one point like he was going to pass Norris during their second stints, but it soon became clear that Leclerc was going a bit too hard on his tires for that pace to be sustainable throughout the remainder of the stint. Car upgrades are a marathon, not a sprint, so let's all still keep an eye on Ferrari as they continue to develop their car this season. And lastly, let's talk Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen just had one of the most impressive racing weekends of all time, let me explain. Red Bull Racing F1 driver Max Verstappen does not just compete in Formula One. When he's not racing in F1 for Red Bull, he's one of the best competitive sim racers in the world competing for Team Redline. If you're not familiar, competitive sim racing or simulated racing is where you use specialized computer software to race online against others using a hardware steering wheel and pedals that interface with the software to register your racing inputs in a hyper-realistic way. Max absolutely loves endurance sim racing, and when he found out that he could fit competing in the highest level of the iRacing Nürburgring 24 Hours special event into his Imola weekend, he jumped at the opportunity. And Max didn't just compete in the special event during the Imola race weekend between F1 sessions, his team won the event, which he found out right before his F1 race that he also went on to win. So it's safe to say Max Verstappen just had one of the most impressive racing weekends of all time because he somehow managed to win at the highest level of real-life racing and the highest level of sim racing in the same weekend, which is insane considering both of those things typically require your full focus, and Max did them simultaneously. Unreal. What a driver. I think Max Verstappen should sell real-life and digital race champion merch, and if he does, he should use my partner Shopify to sell it. Shopify is the best all-in-one commerce platform capable of handling your business's complexity no matter how big you grow. Step up to Shopify and harness the best converting checkout and the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands like Ruggable and Allbirds. Why spend time trying to build an online store with someone besides Shopify when Shopify stores convert the best? You shouldn't be. One thing I love about Shopify is that it integrates with YouTube, which just goes to show that they are very forward-thinking. Stop leaving sales on the table, switch your business to Shopify, and discover why millions trust Shopify as their all-in-one commerce platform to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/fbone, all lowercase. That's 1 month for just $1 at shopify.com/fbone, shopify.com/fbone. To cap off my Imola recap, here's how my 3 bona fide Imola Grand Prix race predictions turned out, and it wasn't great. Again, my first race prediction was that the podium would consist of 1 Red Bull, 1 Ferrari, and 1 McLaren, just like it did in Miami, and ding ding, J-Bone got that one right. J-Bone! F1 is more even across the top 3 teams right now than it has been in quite some time, and it's just an absolute treat to watch. Hopefully next season in 2025, which is the last year before the big engine regulation changes, we get a 3-way championship battle. A boy can dream. A boy can dream. My second race prediction was that Williams would score their first points of the season at Imola, and oh boy. Sheesh. I got this so unbelievably wrong, as Williams had an absolutely awful weekend where one driver finished P17 and the other didn't finish. My James Vowles delusion syndrome really came out when I made that prediction, and I deeply apologize for any secondhand delusion that prediction may have caused you. And my third race prediction was that Mercedes would not have a car finish in the top 6 at Imola. Okay, Checo. Come on, Checo. Checo missing out on Q3 ruined this prediction as it allowed George Russell to sneak into P6. Sorry, that's just what George Russell wanted. I meant Lewis Hamilton snuck into P6. If you know, you know. That sadly puts me at 11 for 21 for the season thus far with my predictions, which is not ideal as it means I have dipped below 500. Now, I do make bold predictions that are usually less than 50% likely to come true, so that's not as bad as it sounds, but it's still not great, okay? But guess what, folks? Guess what? I'm going to follow up this poor showing by going 3 for 3. Oh, wait, no, 4 for 4. When I give you all my eagerly anticipated Monaco Grand Prix race predictions at the end of this episode that will include a bonus prediction, so make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end. Now it's time to look ahead and talk about this weekend's historic and legendary Monaco Grand Prix. The 2024 F1 Monaco Grand Prix takes place this weekend in the Principality of Monaco, which is a city-state in the French Riviera bordered by France and the Mediterranean Sea. The Monaco Grand Prix is incredibly historic in both a Formula One context and a global motor racing context. As far as F1 history is concerned, the Monaco Grand Prix is one of the 7 original Grand Prix that appeared on the calendar of the first ever Formula One World Championship in 1950. The other races were the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, the French Grand Prix at Reims-Gouges, the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, the Swiss Grand Prix at Bremgarten, and the Indianapolis 500 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which we'll be talking about later this episode, so stay tuned for that as well. In broader motor racing history terms, the Monaco Grand Prix is one of the oldest continually operating motor races in the world, having been run 80 times since 1929. Formula One's Monaco Grand Prix is world-renowned as the most glamorous and lavish motorsport race on planet Earth. This is because of the wealthy nature of Monaco itself, as well as the wealthy nature of many of the Monaco Grand Prix's race attendees, some of whom are among the world's richest people. This wealth will be on full display in Monaco's Port Hercule, which is always chock full of rich people taking in the race weekend from their docked mega yachts and what provides one of the coolest visuals on the entire F1 calendar. Their view is probably cooler than ours is, but we non-billionaires will take what we can get, right? The glamour and lavishness of the Monaco Grand Prix is matched by the level of skill it takes drivers to complete a solid lap around the Circuit de Monaco in qualifying, but it is definitely not always matched by the quality of racing during the Grand Prix itself, as Monaco generally features very little overtaking. This has led to people generally considering qualifying the most exciting part of the Monaco Grand Prix race weekend, and I tend to agree, generally, at least until they make it a sprint weekend. I'm just kidding. Don't come at me. That was a joke. I do not want Monaco to be a sprint weekend. Do not come at me, please. Here are your storylines to follow for this weekend's 2024 Monaco Grand Prix. First, this weekend's F1 Monaco Grand Prix is set up perfectly to feature a surprise race winner. The Monaco Grand Prix is already set up better than any other race on the F1 calendar to produce a surprise winner because of how hard it is to overtake at Monaco. This overtaking difficulty is due to the narrowness of the circuit itself, how wide modern F1 cars are, and how short Monaco's straights are. Now, these factors combine to make it so that the Monaco Grand Prix typically features very few overtakes, meaning where you qualify on Saturday plays a massive role in where you finish on Sunday. And because Monaco is such a tricky technical track, it's easy for a good car to qualify poorly and a bad car to qualify well. Case in point, at last year's Monaco Grand Prix, Esteban Ocon finished on the podium at P3 because of his incredible qualifying lap that had him start the race P3, despite the fact that he was certainly not in the third fastest car on the grid. Meanwhile, Checo Perez, who had just won 2 Grand Prix and was the reigning Monaco champion, crashed during qualifying and started the race dead last, from which he was only able to recover to P16 despite being in the fastest car on the grid, and rain also causing a ton of chaos that he could have taken advantage of. And to top it all off, with how even F1 looks at the top right now across Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren, there is a very, very good chance that all it's going to take for us to see a surprise F1 winner this weekend is just one good qualifying lap on Saturday. Do I smell an Oscar Piastri win? Next, Formula One driver Charles Leclerc is cursed, and you're about to see this curse in action. The F1 Monaco Grand Prix is Charles Leclerc's home race, as he's from and still lives in Monaco. However, over the course of the last 26 years that Leclerc's been alive, he must have done something to anger the Monaco gods, because he's very clearly been cursed by them to never have a great race in his home country. When Leclerc raced in Formula 2, he competed twice in Monaco and did not finish either race. Since entering Formula 1, Leclerc has competed in 5 Monaco Grand Prix and has only crossed the finish line in 2 of them, with neither of those 2 finishes resulting in a podium. All that despite Leclerc having 2 Monaco pole positions to his name and the Monaco pole sitter winning the Monaco Grand Prix a lot. Additionally, Leclerc has even crashed a 1974 Niki Lauda Ferrari during Monaco Historic at the Circuit de Monaco before to really drive home the power of his curse. It's very clear to me, J-Bone, that Charles Leclerc will never win in Monaco unless he hires like a shaman, a warlock, or similar. And if he needs one, someone just let him know that J-Bone knows a guy with very reasonable sorcery rates. It's me, J-Bone. I'm the guy. Results not guaranteed. Do you think that Charles Leclerc will break his Monaco curse this weekend? Let me know in the comments. Go comment right now. Additionally, the biggest motorsport day of the entire year is this Sunday. Sunday. This Sunday, May 26th, is known to many as Motorsport Christmas because 3 of the biggest motorsport events of the entire year will all be taking place on the same day without overlapping. This means that you need to block off your calendar for literally the whole day so you can just stay glued to your television and watch the motorsport beauty. The 3 events taking place are the Formula One Monaco Grand Prix, IndyCar's Indianapolis 500, and the NASCAR Coca-Cola 600. That right there is 2/3 of the Triple Crown of Motorsport going down in one weekend. The Triple Crown of Motorsport is said to be Monaco, the Indy 500, and the 24 Hours of Le Mans, as well as one of the marquee events of the NASCAR calendar. This is an incredible lineup because you're starting the day off with the incredible vibes of Monaco over your morning coffee. You're following that up with what I believe is the most impressive racing spectacle on planet Earth in the Indy 500. I'm an F1 guy, but Indy 500 is the greatest race on the planet. And then you close things out with the chaos of the Coke. Additionally, if you watch both the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600, one driver is going to look very familiar as Kyle Larson is attempting to perform double duty by racing in the Indy 500 and then immediately hopping on a plane to Charlotte for the Coke. And what will be super fun to track all day long is he going to be able to complete the 1,100 miles. Can't wait to watch. Imagine if he wins both, okay? Imagine. Merry Motorsport Christmas, y'all. Shout out to my sponsor, Indeed, which is the best hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one convenient place. Whether you're hiring or looking for a job, Indeed is just the place you gotta go. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed is a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. Something I love about Indeed is that Indeed makes hiring all in one place so easy. It's truly a one-stop shop because their hiring platform just matches you with quality candidates instantly. Indeed is truly an unbelievably powerful hiring platform, and it's the #1 source of hires in the US according to Talent Nest. So what are you waiting for? Whether you're hiring for a job or searching for one, you need Indeed. You need Indeed. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/FBone. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/FBone. Just go to Indeed.com/FBone and support the show by saying you heard about it on this very podcast. Indeed.com/FBone. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Here are my 4 bona fide race predictions for the 2024 F1 Monaco Grand Prix. It's Monaco week, so your boy J-Bone added in a bonus prediction. Bonus, B-O-N-E-US. Bonus. My first race prediction is that Max Verstappen will not win the Monaco Grand Prix. A very bold prediction, I know, but guys, I really think Max does not win this race. Formula One has not looked this competitive across the top 3 teams in a long time, and with it being very difficult to overtake at Monaco, the narrow margins separating Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari will be even thinner than they already are, as the pole sitter is most likely going to win this race, and any one of those 3 teams could be on pole. Heck, anyone could be on pole in Monaco and thus have a great shot at winning the race. And that's why I think you're going down, Max. My second race prediction is that Charles Leclerc does not finish on the Monaco Grand Prix podium. I'm all aboard the Charles Leclerc Monaco curse bandwagon and will continue to ride it until the curse is broken. Am I worried that Freddie Vasseur is going to break the curse? Yes. Worried enough to not ride with the curse? Nope. And that's why I think Leclerc's podium streak stops in Monaco. My third race prediction is that Daniel Ricciardo finishes in the top 5 at the Monaco Grand Prix. Daniel has won at Monaco before and should have won another time, so he clearly knows the circuit really well, and after seeing what he was able to do in the Miami Sprint, where he went P4 wire to wire, I believe that Daniel's going to put it all together in Monaco this weekend for a solid top 5 result. And my bonus 4th race prediction is that Checo Perez will not finish in the top 5 at the Monaco Grand Prix. Despite the fact that he won in Monaco just 2 years ago, Checo's qualifying form is just too up and down for me to feel confident that he's going to be able to put his car in the top 5 in qualifying, which is where you need to be if you want to finish the race in the top 5. And last but not least, here's my prediction for the top 5 finishers in the Monaco Grand Prix with zero reasoning nor explanation. P5, Daniel Ricciardo. P4, Carlos Sainz. P3, Oscar Piastri. P2, Max Verstappen. And P1, Lando Norris.
Lando wins, Lando did it, take that Verstappen.
Special shout out to my top YouTube channel members, Joe Max's #1 hater Snow, Brian Linton, Wolf Loves Racing, Waffleopagus, and David Haig. Mash that join button just below this video to get your name shouted out right here in future videos. Until next time, folks, J-Bomb! J-Bomb!